Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. Listen, your energy did not land here by accident. You didn't just click this video. Something in you already knows why they still feel you. And today we're talking about why they can't forget you. Even when they don't text, even when they act unbothered, even when they pretend they've moved on. And trust me, by the end of this reading, you're going to understand exactly why. Y'all already know how we do it over here. I don't sugarcoat. I don't baby grown emotions. I tell the truth. And it's the kind that makes people sit back like, oh, that's why. But real quick, before we get into it, for a limited time, I still have my 3 questions for $33 available. Ask about this connection, a new love, money, or career, or if you need grounded, real life clarity and coaching, I got you. See, that link is in the description. And I'll just say this. Listen, there's a lot that I can say in a personal reading that I can't say here on YouTube. Also, if you love the energy over here, please go subscribe to my music channel, XO Janai. Now, if everybody watching this video subscribed, I'd be grateful. That link is also in the description. All right, so let's get into it. Take a breath, right? And just let your shoulders drop. Look at the 3 cards in front of you and pick the one that calmly draws you in, not the one you think you should pick. Pile 1, the lion. Pile 2, the dragon. And pile 3, the elephant. All right, so let's get straight into it. Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. If you picked pile 1, the lion, listen closely. Today, we're getting into why they still feel you and why you are absolutely not easy to forget. And I'm going to tell you right now, in this reading, we're going to find out what made you stand out, what they still carry from this connection, and why your energy stayed with them long after the situation changed. Somebody watching this already knows that there's more to this connection than what was ever said out loud. And that's exactly what we're about to uncover. Now, quick pause, because if this reading resonates, I need you to know this. For a limited time, I still have my 3 questions for $33 available. You can ask me any 3 questions. This relationship, a new love coming in, money or career, or if you need grounded real life clarity and coaching, I got you. And let me say this honestly, there's a lot that I can tap into in a personal reading that I can't say here on YouTube. Energy moves different when it's just you and me. The link is in the description if you feel called. Also, if you love the energy over here, please go subscribe to my music channel, XO Janai. If everybody watching this video subscribed, I would truly be grateful. The channel carries the same empowerment and healing, just expressed through music. All right, now let's talk about why they can't forget you. The Lion Oracle says, this is you. It says, calling, right? You have within you all the courage you need. Like the lion, reclaim your majesty. You will find success, contentment with those by your side, and make noble choices for your life and your tribe. Okay, so this right here explains everything, right? Because you don't move like someone who needs validation. You don't chase attention. You don't bend yourself to be chosen. You move with quiet confidence, okay? And that alone makes you unforgettable. Now, I'm pulling 6 cards, and each card is going to reveal what they felt but never said. And I'm telling you now, the total energetic frequency at the end is wild. And this person never admitted this, but today I am. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and pull your first card. And let's find out where the energy is headed. Card 1, you have intuition. I'm gonna go ahead and pull your second card, and then we'll channel both energies together. Card 2, you have visionary. And the visionary card says capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, and the willingness to proclaim a vision without regard to personal gain. Okay, so let's go ahead, honey, and tap into the intuition energy. I feel like this person knows with this intuition energy coming through. The intuition is ruled by the moon. The moon rules over secrets, what's hidden, things that they have not said. This person knows that you can read them like a book. So let's go ahead and tap into the intuition energy, and then we'll move straight over here to card 2, the visionary. Okay, so listen, pause, because this already tells me a lot. With intuition coming out first, this connection was never surface level. Intuition is ruled by the moon, and the moon governs what's hidden, what's unspoken, what happens in the dark, and what people feel but don't say out loud. And this person, honey, they know that you can read them like a book. And that's why they're uneasy around you sometimes. See, that's why they don't always know what to say. And that's why they hold back. You see through the pauses. You hear what isn't being said. And you pick up on tone, energy, timing, not just words. They feel exposed around you. And let me say this clearly, and they don't forget people who see them. That intuition of yours didn't just clock them. It changed how they move. And already I'm seeing where this is headed overall, because once someone realizes you fully see them, they don't shake that feeling easily. Okay, now let's go ahead and move into the second card, because this builds on it perfectly. All right, so visionary. And listen, again, this card says capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable in others, and the willingness to proclaim a vision without regard to personal gain. This right here, this is why you stand out. You don't just see people, you see potential. You saw who they could be before they became it. And you spoke things into them they hadn't even admitted to themselves yet. And that's heavy, because now they are living with the awareness that you believed in them. You saw more for them. You held a vision they weren't ready to hold yet. And whether they stepped into it or not, they know you were right. And see, that combination, intuition plus vision, is powerful. You didn't just connect emotionally. You activated something in them. And people don't forget the person who awakened them. Okay, now stay with me, because the next card is about to show me why this connection still echoes in their body and nervous system, even when they act like they're fine. So let's go ahead and pull the next card. What is the energy? All right, as it does relate, and let's see what's coming through. Child. Let's see, what is the energy, spirit? You got all good things are wild and free. And the card says, of course, wild and free. Look, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to really know why this person can't forget you. But I'm going to tell you, okay? Because this just shifted the whole reading. All good things are wild and free. And of course it is, because the energy here is not trapped. It's not desperate, and it's not clinging. See, this connection exists in a wild and free frequency, meaning you were never meant to be controlled. You were never meant to be owned. You were never meant to shrink yourself to be kept. And that is exactly why they can't forget you. Because you didn't come into their life to cage yourself. You came in fully expressed, fully sovereign, fully yourself. And this person felt what it's like to be around someone who moves freely, thinks independently, loves without attachment, and doesn't need permission to be powerful. And once someone experiences that kind of energy, regular connections don't hit the same way anymore. That's why they still feel you. Because wild and free energy doesn't fade. It haunts in the best way. Now, here's the thing. When intuition, vision, and wild and free come together like this, it tells me that this connection didn't just impact their heart. It reprogrammed their expectations. And the next card is about to show me what they lost when they let you walk away, and why that realization keeps circling back to them. All right, so let's go ahead and pull the next card. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. All right, what's coming through? Card 4. We both know that I am not the one for you. Look, yeah, and it's right here. This is the part that they don't like admitting, even to themselves, because this card isn't about rejection, it's about self-awareness. On some level, this person knows that they didn't fully meet you where you are, and they know you operate on a higher frequency, emotionally, intuitively, energetically. They felt it. Okay? And instead of rising to match you, they backed away. And not because you were too much, but because you were too real. They know you required presence, honesty, growth, emotional maturity. And deep down, they questioned whether they could actually give you that consistently. That's awareness. That's heavy. Because now, see, they live with the knowing that you were aligned, you were authentic, you were ready, and they weren't. And that's not something people forget. And let me tell you, when someone realizes they weren't the one for you, it doesn't make you smaller. It makes you the standard. Now stay with me, because the next card is about to show me how this realization plays out emotionally for them over time, and why this connection still pulls at them even when they try to move forward. Let's pull the next card. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. Okay. You know what? We can pull here. And you have the Strength card, which you know what? I consider this a synchronicity, because the Strength card has the lion on it. just like the Lion card. And so there's a lot of Leo energy here. I do want to point out that the Leo is ruled by the sun. So you could have Leo in the top placements of your birth chart, and I'll explain that to you, or they could, right? But let's go ahead and break this strength energy down as it does relate. So this is not accidental. Like I said, there's a lot of Leo energy here, okay? And Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun represents identity, confidence, presence, self-worth, and the kind of energy that lights up a room. So one of two things is true. You have strong Leo energy in your chart, and I'm talking about your astrological birth chart. Okay, it could be in the sun, moon, rising, or a major placement, or they do, and you activated it. Either way, the message is the same. This card tells me that you embody strength without aggression. You don't force, you don't dominate, you don't beg. You stand calmly in who you are, and that kind of strength is rare. See, because this person didn't experience you as loud power. They experienced you as quiet authority. And that's intimidating to people who aren't fully anchored in themselves. They felt safe with you, inspired by you, challenged by you. But also they knew they couldn't control you. Okay? And here's the key part that most people miss about the strength card. True strength doesn't chase. It allows. You didn't grip this connection tightly. You let it be what it was. And that's why it still has power. Because when someone realizes they didn't need me, they chose me, that stays with them. And now, after intuition, vision, wild and free, listen, after this energy, intuition, vision, wild and free energy, honesty about misalignment and strength, okay? The final piece is about to reveal the total energetic frequency of this connection, right? Because this is card 6. And after we lay out the energy of card 6, we're going to go straight into that total energetic frequency. And I promise you, I'm not holding back. Okay, so let's do it. Because what I'm picking up in that total energetic frequency is crazy, and you got to know. But let's go ahead and pull card 6 and see where the energy is headed. All right, you got the 11th house. There are 12 houses in an astrological birth chart, but the 11th house came through. And let me tell you what the 11th house represents, what zodiac sign it represents, and what it means for this connection. Why do they still feel you? Okay. Now, look. Listen closely. There are 12 houses in astrology, and the 11th house coming out here is not random. The 11th house represents the future, long-term vision, soul-aligned connections, and friendships that turn into something more, community and destiny-level bonds. It is ruled by Aquarius energy, which is about authenticity, truth, freedom, and not settling for surface-level connections. So let me tell you what this means for this connection. They don't just remember you as someone they were involved with. They remember you as someone who shifted their future perspective. You weren't just a moment. You weren't just chemistry. You were someone that they could see a life version with, even if they never said it out loud. See, that's why they still feel you, because the 11th house doesn't fade, it projects forward. And this connection lives in their mind as what could have been, who I could have grown with, the person who saw me beyond who I was at the time. And here's the part that hits hard. 11th house energy doesn't cling. It doesn't chase. It lingers quietly. Total energetic frequency. No filter. Okay? Here's the total energetic frequency of this connection. You were ahead of them. You saw deeper. You felt stronger. You envisioned more. And instead of shrinking to meet them, you stay wild, intuitive, strong, and future focused. That made you unforgettable. They feel you because you didn't need them. You didn't chase them. You didn't lose yourself. And you showed them a version of connection that required growth. And even if they couldn't rise to it, they felt it. That's why silence doesn't mean indifference. That's why distance doesn't mean erase you. Because you didn't just touch their heart, you touched their future self. If this resonated, you already know. 3 questions for $33. Link below. Subscribe to XO Janai if this energy feeds your soul. And thank you for sitting in this message. Thank you for honoring your intuition. And remember, you were never hard to love. You were just impossible to forget. Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. If you pick pile 2, the dragon, let me tell you right now, this is not a light connection. This is not casual energy. This is supernatural, transformative, and unforgettable energy. And today we are getting into why they still feel you and why this connection didn't just end. It shifted them, okay? And in this reading, we're going to find out what you activated in them, why this bond still lives in their nervous system, and whether this is something that continues or something that changes them and then fades. Now, real quick, before we go deeper, for a limited time, I still have my 3 questions for $33 available. You can ask me about this connection, a new love, money, or career, or if you need grounded, real-life clarity. No sugarcoating. I got you. There's a lot that I can say in a personal reading that I can't say on YouTube. And if this pile already feels intense, you know why. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my music channel, XO Janai. If you love this energy, that channel carries it in another form. All links are in the description. All right, so let's get straight into pile 2. This is the Dragon Oracle. This is you. And the card says, you are the ancient sage. You can shapeshift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. Let me translate this plainly. You are not someone people just meet. You are someone people experience. You adapt, you evolve, you read the room, and still stay yourself. And that's why this person never felt like they had the upper hand with you. You saw through their mask. You saw through personas. And you saw who they were and who they pretended to be. That's dragon energy. Now, I'm pulling 6 cards, and each card is going to show us why they still feel you, what this connection awakened in them. And by the end, the total energetic frequency is going to tell us whether this connection continues or whether it already served its purpose. And trust me, this ending says a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into your energy, your first card. And let's see where it's headed. Thank you, Spirit. Card 1. As it does relate, you have Help is on the way. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and pull your second card, and then we'll channel both energies together. And you got the dilettante. It says delight in the arts without having to be a professional. This is spelled Dilettante. Okay, so let's go ahead and tap into the energy of card 1, help is on the way, and then we will move into the dilettante. So let's see, what am I picking up here? Okay. Let's just pause right here, okay? Because this tells me something important immediately. This connection did not happen in isolation. You didn't come into their life randomly, and you didn't leave without impact. With help is on the way coming out, this person associates you with relief. You came into their life during a moment where they were overwhelmed, they were stuck, they were carrying something alone. And your presence, even if it was brief, felt like support. Not saving, not fixing, but energetic relief. See, that's why they still feel you. Because when someone experiences you as a turning point, as the moment things started shifting, they don't forget that energy. Now, let's go ahead and look at the second card and see how these energies work together. Card 2 is the dilettante. And listen to what it says. Delighting in the art without having to be a professional. Okay, this is interesting because this is about freedom of expression. You didn't come into this connection trying to prove yourself. You didn't audition, you didn't perform, and you showed up authentically, playful, curious, unpressured. And that made this connection feel light, even when it was deep. See, they felt around you like they could breathe. They didn't have to have everything figured out. They didn't have to be perfect. And see, that combination, help is on the way, plus the dilettante, it tells me this. You were a reminder of ease. You showed them that life doesn't have to be heavy all the time, that growth doesn't have to be painful, and that connection can feel natural, not forced. And that's powerful. Now stay with me, because the next card is going to show me why this energy still follows them and whether this connection is something that continues or something that already fulfilled its purpose. Let's go ahead and pull the next card. What is the energy as it does relate? Let's find out what's coming through. You have be there for you. Look. Y'all, that's a synchronicity for real, okay? And I'm literally, the space here is right under help is on the way. Be there for you. You are here for this person and they know it. Like no one else has been in their entire existence, okay? So let me tell you what I'm picking up, honey child, and they are never going to meet anybody like you. Trust. No way. So here's the thing. Wow. Because this is a real synchronicity. But let me slow it down for a second. This card landed directly under help is on the way. Okay. That's not accidental. That's confirmation. You weren't just someone they talked to. You weren't just someone they connected with casually. You showed up. Emotionally, energetically, consistently. You were there for them in a way that felt rare to them. And I'm going to say this plainly. They know it. They know that you held space without judgment, and you listened without trying to control, and you supported without draining yourself. You didn't abandon them when things got real. You didn't disappear when they were vulnerable. And for this person, that hits different. Now, let me tell you what I'm picking up here, okay? This person knows that they have never had anyone show up for them like you did. Not before you, not since you. And that's why they still feel you. Because people don't forget the one who was there when no one else knew how to be. They may meet other people, they may date, they may move forward, but they are not going to meet someone who held them the way you did. That's not ego. That's energetic truth. And now that this energy is stacking the way it is, the next card is about to show me what this realization does to them internally and whether this connection stays active or transforms into something else entirely. So let's go ahead and pull the next card. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. Okay. You got, I wish I had treated you better. See? That part right there. Regret. Loss. Grief. There it is. This is not wishful thinking. This is acknowledgement. See, this card is about regret that has matured. Not impulsive guilt, not drama, but the kind of realization that comes after someone understands what they lost. And this person knows they didn't show up fully. They mishandled your care. They underestimated your presence. And here's the part people don't talk about. They didn't realize how rare you were until you were no longer right there. They replay moments. They rethink conversations. They know how others don't move the way you moved. And that awareness, it sits quietly, but it's heavy. They don't just miss you. They miss how they felt when you were there for them. And let me be very clear that this regret isn't about getting you back right now. It's about realizing I didn't meet that moment the way I should have. And that realization stays with people. Now, the next card tells me what they do with this regret and whether it turns into action, distance, or long-term memory. Let's pull the next card. What is the energy as it does relate and what's coming through? Okay. You got the Son of Pentacles. And I'm saying Sun, y'all, S-O-N. Of Pentacles. This is Earth energy, does rule the Earth zodiacs. And so that energy could be in the top placements of their birth chart or yours. And I'll go over that with you and how it relates to why they still feel you. Okay, so let's do it. Now, here's the thing. Earth rules Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So this could be a top placement in their chart or top placement in your chart or the dynamic between you two. And earth energy is about consistency, reliability, effort, and follow through. And this card tells me something very specific about why they still feel you. You made things feel real, not rushed, not chaotic, not dramatic. You were steady. You were grounded. You were someone they could build with, even if they didn't know how to yet. And here's the truth about Son of Pentacles energy. It moves slow, but it remembers deep. And this person isn't the type to forget connections easily. They process after the fact. So now, after time has passed, after reflection, after comparisons, they realize you were patient. You were solid. You were offering something sustainable. And that realization, and that's why they still feel you now, not just then. They didn't feel you fully in the moment. They're feeling you in hindsight. And that hits different. Now, stay with me because this is the last card and it's going to pull everything together, right? And after the sixth card, we're going to tap into the total energetic frequency of this connection and where it actually goes from here. So let's go ahead and bring it all together. What is the energy as it does relate and what's coming through? All right. You got the Three of Cups. Okay. Water, emotional, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Look, the Three of Cups is about emotional warmth, joy, shared moments, celebration, connection that feels light but meaningful. And so this tells me something very clear about why they still feel you. With you, things didn't feel heavy. They felt good. See, because you brought laughter, emotional ease, a sense of being understood, and moments where they could just be themselves. And here's the part that matters. They associate you with happiness, not stress. So even when things were complicated, the feeling of you was relief. See, that's why this card is so important paired with everything else we pulled. Because now we have help is on the way. You arrived when they needed support. Be there for you. You showed up emotionally. I wish I had treated you better. Awareness and regret. Son of Pentacles. Long-term value. Hindsight, realization. Three of Cups. Joy, warmth, and emotional safety. You weren't chaos. You weren't drama. You weren't a lesson wrapped in pain. You were a bright spot. And people don't forget the person who made life feel lighter. Here's the total energetic frequency of this connection. You were support, joy, and stability all at once. See, because you showed up when they needed it. You stayed present when others pulled away. You made things feel possible and enjoyable. And now they look back and realize that wasn't common. That was rare. This connection doesn't disappear. It settles into memory with weight. So whether this continues in the physical or not, you already left a mark. They still feel you because you were there. You cared genuinely. You didn't fake it, and you made life feel better. And that combination is unforgettable. If this reading resonated with you, you already know where to find me. 3 questions for $33. The link is in the description. Ask anything. Subscribe to XO Janai, my music channel, if this energy speaks to you. And thank you for trusting me with this message. Thank you for honoring your worth. And remember, they don't miss chaos, they miss you. Hi, Clarity family. Welcome to your reading. If you picked pile 3, the elephant, listen. This is about why they still feel you and why your presence left a mark that can't be ignored. This connection wasn't loud, it wasn't chaotic, it was significant. So in this reading, we're going to uncover what made you stand out in their mind, why your energy still weighs on them, and what this connection actually meant beyond words. But real quick, because if this pile resonates, you'll understand why this matters. For a limited time, I still have my 3 questions for $33 available. You can ask me about this connection, a new love, money, or career, or if you need grounded real life clarity and coaching, I got you. There's a depth that I can go into in a personal reading that I cannot fully explore on YouTube. And if this pile feels familiar, that's not by accident. Also, if you love this energy, please subscribe to my music channel, XO Janai. If everyone watching this video subscribed, I'd be truly grateful. And that link is in the description. All right, pile 3, let's go straight into your reading. The Elephant Oracle, this is you. The card says, love is your strength, leadership is your path, your wisdom inspires everyone you meet, and you can overcome any problem. You will naturally and easily achieve success. Let me tell you why your energy was drawn to the elephant. You don't force impact. You don't announce yourself. You command presence without trying. And see, this person didn't experience you as someone temporary. They experienced you as someone foundational. You felt safe. You felt steady. And you felt like someone who could be built with, okay? And so that's why they still feel you. Now, I'm pulling 6 cards. Each card is going to reveal what they felt, but didn't fully say. And by the end, the total energetic frequency is going to show us whether this was a passing connection or something that permanently changed how they love. And trust me, the ending says everything, okay? So let's go ahead and pull your first card. And let's see where the energy is headed. All right, so you got overcome obstacles as card 1. Now let's go ahead and pull your second card, and then we will channel both cards together. All right. And you got rescuer, but the rescuer came out in reverse, y'all. So let me tell you what it says. It says, assumes that the rescued will be reciprocate. Keep the rescued one needy. Ooh, y'all. Okay, let's go ahead, honey, and tap into overcome obstacles. And then we'll go over here to this reversed shadow attributes of the rescuer. Let's do it. Okay, here we go. All right, y'all. This tells me immediately what role you played in this connection. You were not someone who folded under pressure, okay? You were not someone who gave up when things got hard. You came in strong, steady, and solution-oriented. See, this person experienced you as someone who could handle real life, could move through challenges, and didn't panic when things got uncomfortable. You didn't just talk about growth, you embodied it. And see, that's why they still feel you. Because when someone witnesses your resilience up close, it rewires how they understand strength in relationships. You became proof that love doesn't fall apart under pressure. Now, let's go ahead and tap into the energy of the second card, because this is where the lessons deepen. All right? Okay, y'all. So this is Rescuer in reverse. And listen, let's see what this card says. Let's just read it again. Assumes that the rescue will be reciprocated and keeps the rescued one needy. See, this is important because in reverse, this card tells me that you stopped overgiving, okay? And you realized something critical in this connection. You can support without saving. You can love without sacrificing yourself, and you can be present without carrying someone. Now, at some point, you pulled your energy back, not out of bitterness, not out of anger, but out of self-respect, okay? And here's what that did to them. They realized how much they relied on your strength. They realized how much you held space, and they realized how much you made things easier just by being there. But once you stopped rescuing, they were left to face their own obstacles. And that's when it hit them. They didn't lose you because you stopped caring. They lost you because you stopped over functioning. And that shift, that's unforgettable, because now they know you were never weak. You were never dependent. You were choosing, not clinging. And people don't forget the moment someone chooses themselves. Now, stay with me because the next card is about to show me how this realization changed the way they see you permanently and what this connection means going forward. So let's go ahead and pull the next card. All right. Let's do it. What is the energy as it does relate? Let's see what's coming through. You got Angel of Truth. Yeah, this is the moment of clarity, because truth is about seeing things exactly as they are, not how we hope they'd be, not how we tried to make them work, but what was actually happening underneath it all. This card tells me something very important. At some point, the illusion dropped, and you saw where you were overextending, where effort wasn't being matched, and where love was real, but responsibility wasn't equal. And instead of arguing about it, instead of forcing understanding, you accepted the truth. That takes strength. And here's the part that matters for why they still feel you. You didn't expose them. You didn't shame them. You didn't dramatize it. You simply saw clearly and moved accordingly. Now, that kind of truth is uncomfortable for people because it mirrors them back to themselves. They know you saw the situation for what it really was, and they know you didn't leave confused. You left aware. And awareness is powerful. Now, the energy is stacking. You overcame obstacles. You stopped rescuing, and you chose truth over attachment. See, that combination doesn't just end connections. It changes how someone remembers you. Now, stay with me because the next card is about to show me how this truth reshaped the connection emotionally, and whether it closed the door or simply changed the dynamic. Well, let's go ahead and pull the next card. What is the energy as it does relate, and what's coming through? All right, so let's find out. All right, you got, I'm so attracted to you. Yeah. And this isn't surface level attraction. This is the kind of attraction that intensifies after you pulled back. Because here's the truth. When you stopped rescuing, when you stood in truth, and when you chose yourself, you became more magnetic, not less. This attraction isn't just physical, though, okay? Though that's absolutely part of it. It's attraction to also your strength, your clarity, your emotional maturity, your leadership energy. You shifted from being the one who carried the connection to the one who commanded respect. And that does something to people. They don't just want you, they admire you. And they feel drawn to you because you embody what they struggle to be consistent in. And here's the part they don't say. Your self-respect made them see you as higher value. That's why they feel you. Not because you chased and not because you proved anything, but because you stood tall and walked in truth. Okay, the next card is about to show me whether this attraction turns into action or stays locked in their inner world. So let's go. All right, what is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. Card 5. All right, so let's see here. You have the Chariot in reverse. Okay. Look. This is the part that they hate admitting to themselves, because the Chariot upright is action, pursuit, direction, confidence, momentum. Reversed, all of that energy is there, but it's stalled. Here's what this really means in plain language. They want to move towards you. They feel pulled towards you. They think about what it would look like to come forward, but they're not doing it. And not because the desire isn't real. It is. Not because the attraction faded. It didn't. It's because they are internally conflicted. This is someone who feels torn between instinct and logic, unsure which direction causes less disruption, and afraid of losing control if they follow what they feel. See, the Chariot reverse says, if I move towards you, everything changes. And I don't know if I'm ready to handle that. So instead of choosing, they pause. Instead of acting, they overthink. And instead of leading, they hesitate. And see, that's why this connection feels unfinished. Because energetically, they're still holding the reins. They just don't know which way to pull them. And now here's the important part for you. This card is not about rejection. It's about fear of momentum. They are not blocked because they don't want you. They're blocked because they don't trust themselves to handle the consequences of choosing you. And that's a very different story. Now, the final card is about to tell me whether this hesitation is temporary or if this connection is meant to transform you rather than to continue as is. So let's go ahead and pull the sixth and final card, and then we'll go straight into the total energetic frequency, because what I'm picking up there is not subtle. So let's go. What is the energy as it does relate? And let's see what's coming through. All right. You got the Ace of Pentacles. This is grounding. This is real world energy. This is potential that can actually materialize. See, the Ace of Pentacles doesn't come through for fantasy connections. It shows up when something can become tangible. Time, effort, stability, consistency. So here's the truth of this connection. They don't just feel attracted to you. They don't just think about you emotionally. They see you as someone they could build something real with. And that's exactly why the Chariot was reversed. Because once they acknowledge this, once they admit you represent real world possibility, they can't hide behind confusion anymore. Okay? This card says, if I move towards you, this isn't a fling, this becomes something. And that's intimidating for someone who hasn't fully sorted their direction yet. Here's the full frequency of this connection. No sugarcoating. You overcame the role of rescuer and you stepped into truth and self-respect. Their attraction intensified because of it. They want to move towards you, but hesitate out of fear. And they see long-term potential with you. This connection activated growth, not chaos. So this isn't unfinished because it's weak. It's paused because it's significant. And whether this turns into something physical or not, it already did its job energetically. You shifted, they noticed, and they will never forget that. You didn't lose them. You outgrew the version of the connection that required you to carry it. If they step forward, it's because they're ready to meet you properly. If they don't, it's because the lesson already completed. Either way, you walk away stronger, clearer, and more magnetic than before. And that's why they still feel you. That's why you're not easy to forget. With clarity and confidence. If you want to go deeper into this connection, your personal timing, or what's coming next in love or money, my 3 for $33 is still available for a limited time. And if you love this energy, I'd be truly grateful if you subscribe to my music channel, XO Janai. The link is in the description.